decide on the size of box you're going to use, taking into account that it fits not just in the car, but through the trunk or through the doors, however you plan to put it in the vehicle. Once you know it fits in the vehicle, then you'll want to calculate the volume to make sure that you know it fits the subs that you're going to be using for it. We have a handy box calculator on our website, so that can make quick work of that. From there, you want to rip the board with usually a skill saw. On the skill saw, you want to set the height of the blade to where if you're using carbide tips, where the carbide tips are halfway up through the board. This shears the wood and gives you a better cut than chopping at it by raising the blade up too high. You want to mock up your box, test fit it, make sure it goes together as you had planned. After the test fit, make sure you clean up all your pieces, deburring any of them if they've got roughness from the table saw or the router, however you're using to cut it. Then you want to blow out all the edges with air compressor if you have it, or brush it out if you can. We understand that a lot of you out there don't have access to an air nailer, which is what we use. If you don't have access to this, just any good power drill will work. You just have to go through and pre-drill your screw holes and use a coarse threaded screw. Apply glue first wherever you can lay it, but it will not run. This buys you more time for when you do have to apply it to the vertical surfaces. Wood glue has a long set time of like an hour, so don't feel rushed when you're working with it. Make sure your boards are good and lined up, take your time, and then nail. Make sure you scrape off all the wood glue off your box. This makes it easier on your sandpaper later, as wood glue that's hardened is really hard on sandpaper. We use a bead of glue around all the edges to seal it up. You can use silicone caulk, hot melt, hot glue, pretty much anything that'll leave an airtight bond. You'll want to attach your sides and top and bottom to the face with the biggest hole. That way you can reach through to seal it up on the back side. Finishing, you'll want to, first you'll want to putty all the nail holes or screw holes and along all the seams. Even if you can't see holes, just go ahead and go over it with the putty. If you're going to be painting your box, make sure to spend extra time on the finishing stages, taking care to note any pits or dents in the wood and get them taken care of before paint. It's much easier to fix them in the raw wood stage. Let that dry for a while or it'll clog up your sandpaper really bad. After the putty is sufficiently dried, you can grab your handheld DA or palm sander and start going over it. Start with the screw holes on the flat surface, making sure to hold it as flat as possible. A sanding block with some sandpaper attached to it will work just fine. As far as sandpaper goes, don't go with too coarse of a grit until you get real comfortable. Anywhere from 120 to 220 is probably fine. If you're really comfortable with it, go on down to like an 80 grit. You can also use a belt sander if you have one. The key to that is to not go straight with the rotation. That'll cause deep grooves and gouges. You want to cross it and keep it moving in circles if possible, as long as you can keep it flat. Again, that being the key. Now you're finished up building your own box. All you gotta do is wire it up and enjoy.